EastEnders viewers worry that a key cast member may have secretly exited the show after suddenly vanishing from Albert Square. The BBC One drama is currently focusing on a tense and dangerous storyline, yet one character seems to have completely disappeared, leaving fans confused. Earlier this month, audiences saw Harry Mitchell kidnapped by Ravi and Okie. This happened after the duo forced him to take part in their drug-dealing operation across East London. When Harry began protesting about Kojo's growing exploitation, Ravi and Okie joined forces to silence him and have kept him locked away ever since. Ravi later went off on holiday and instructed Okie to release Harry, but he has done the opposite and continues to mentally torture him. Just before he was taken, Harry revealed his crime involvement to his mother, Nicola Mitchell, portrayed by Laura Doddington. Despite that shocking confession, Nicola has shown no concern that her son has vanished. Now fans suspect that actress Laura has stepped away from the soap without any announcement. On Reddit, one user questioned, "Where has Nicola gone? She's just vanished." Someone else replied, "I miss her. She needs to return and deal with Ravi." Another fan asked, "Is Nicola still in the show or has the actress left?" Laura Doddington joined the long-running BBC series as the strong new head of the Mitchell family. Producers cast her as Teddy Mitchell's former wife. She made her first appearance in November last year, arriving to once again help Harry escape trouble. Before taking on the role, the actress had starred in several well-known TV shows including Holby City, Casualty, Doctor Who and The Bill. But surprisingly, she had already appeared on EastEnders once before in a completely different role 15 years ago. A Reddit user pointed out that she previously showed up in 2009 as a teacher running a birthing class taken by Zainab and Masood. Phil makes a powerful comeback in EastEnders and turns to a familiar legend for backup. Nigel stood firmly by Phil throughout his struggles with depression, which later triggered terrifying psychotic episodes. After a failed attempt to take his own life, Phil checked into a treatment facility for support. Once he returned, and as Nigel's condition rapidly declined, Phil made the life-altering choice to become his full-time caregiver. Nigel stays with Phil because he feels secure and truly at home there, actor Paul Bradley said earlier. Phil has built this safe bubble around Nigel, taking care of everything including money. It's a genuine act of devotion, and he doesn't want praise for it. He simply committed himself to caring for Nigel. Phil's home has become essential for him. Nigel is slowly slipping away mentally, and sometimes he confuses past with present or mixes up memories. It's hard for him and heartbreaking for everyone close to him. Although Phil has struggled, he continued caring for Nigel alone until his wife Julie moved to Walford, taking a teaching job at the local school. Their partnership hasn't been perfect, but together they've tried to keep Nigel stable. However, things took a serious turn while Phil was away in Portugal visiting his daughter Louise. Julie and Nigel began planning a dream holiday to India, and Nigel chose to sell his beloved car to fund the trip. Devastated by the thought of losing it, he went for one last drive, which tragically led to disaster. Distracted, Nigel drove straight toward Gina Knight and Jasmine Fisher. Jasmine pushed Gina out of the way, knocking her unconscious, but she was struck herself and collapsed badly injured. Julie did everything she could to convince Nigel that she was responsible for the accident, but he wasn't convinced. Jasmine, scared that the truth was about to come out, also lied and insisted Nigel wasn't behind the wheel. But after discovering his shoes covered in blood, Nigel turned himself in to police officer Jack Branning and confessed to everything. Facing jail time, Nigel tried to make amends by visiting Gina in the hospital. She forgave him with grace, and he finally confessed to Julie that he is too unwell to travel to India. When Phil returns home and learns what happened, he is furious and lashes out at Julie, blaming her for everything Nigel is now going through. But after talking things through with Jack, Phil takes a moment to reflect and realizes he treated Julie unfairly. He then decides to call in his strongest support, legendary solicitor Richie Scott. Can Phil once again swoop in and save Nigel from ruin? Or is this one crisis he cannot undo? Could Nigel spend the rest of his life behind bars? British thriller starring EastEnders legend climbs Netflix rankings. The mystery series Blind Spot, which first aired on Channel 5 in 2023, has suddenly found new life on Netflix. The show marked Ross Kemp's first major dramatic acting role in almost 20 years. Kemp became a household name as Grant Mitchell in EastEnders, appearing on the soap from 1990 until 1999. Before his Walford days, he also portrayed Graham Lodsworth in Emmerdale for 32 episodes in the mid-80s. In 2004, Kemp stepped away from regular acting and switched his focus to documentary work. He fronted Ross Kemp on Gangs for Sky before making a range of other series covering topics such as the war in Afghanistan, piracy, and the Amazon rainforest. He later took on the role of quizmaster when he began presenting the BBC game show Bridge of Lies in 2022. But in 2023, Kemp returned to drama. He starred as Tony in Blind Spot, a 4-episode crime thriller with a chilling premise. A woman vanishes from an estate where she previously witnessed a murder, and a CCTV worker uncovers a disturbing link no one else will investigate. Beth Alsbury, Crystal Clark, Sue Vincent, Michelle Bonnard, and Lewis Conway rounded out the cast. On its original release, the series received a wave of criticism. Many viewers voiced their disappointment online. "This is unbelievably terrible, and I can't stop watching. If this were Ross Kemp doing a documentary on bad acting, I'd give it a 10, one IMDb user joked. Another harsh review read, "Probably the worst TV you'll ever see. Shoestring budget, awful performances, a script that's just painful. It's so serious it ends up like a comedy." A third viewer wrote, "Be prepared for awful writing, terrible production, and acting that will make your head spin. A textbook example of how not to make a thriller." Despite the negative feedback, the show has skyrocketed in popularity since hitting Netflix this week and is now the 4th most watched title in the UK. And the opinions remain mixed. "This show is unbelievable, yet I need to know how it ends," one viewer posted. "Terrible, but addictive. It reminds me of those daytime soaps my mum watched when we only had 4 channels," another said. Others were less impressed. "One episode was enough. Not for me," wrote a viewer named Claire. Before the series aired, Kemp told Radio Times he was anxious about stepping back into drama. "I think people see me as a documentary presenter now," he explained. "I was nervous going back on a set. You don't know if you can still do it." He added, "I trained as an actor. I just hope I haven't got worse. Maybe I've improved slightly with age." Since Blind Spot, Kemp has returned once more to documentaries with Ross Kemp, Mafia and Britain, which aired last year. EastEnders airs Mondays to Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. on BBC One and BBC iPlayer.